In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 10 must-have cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. What I do mean by a must-have card is just a card that I think is really good value for its price, and cards for different price ranges I think you guys should be looking to pick up. So there'll be, budget must-have cards in the game, budget cards that I think you guys should have on your budget squad, some mid-level cards like Galaxy Jalen Rose that go for maybe 40 to 50k, and I think are must-have cards for that price range, and then obviously some, more expensive cards as well that we'll talk about here in a second. But these are just going to be the top 10 must-have cards in the game for different price points. So the first card I want to talk about in this top 10 is going to be the Luol Jalen Rose. I personally think he's an amazing point guard in the game for only about 40 to 50k. He might actually be a little bit cheaper. Last time I checked, he was about 45, 50k. He's a 6'8" point guard, 7-foot wingspan. I think all around his stats are super well rounded. Really no flaw when you look at there's really no flaw when you look at his stats and his badges, except for maybe the defensive hops, because that could be definitely upgraded on the card because he has no Hall of Fame defensive badges. But I think for this card, it really just comes down to his jump shot and if you like it, because personally I think it's a good jump shot. I'm not going to gas it and say it's like an amazing release and the best jump shot in the game, something crazy like that, but I think it's a good jump shot. Nothing amazing but nothing bad. I think it's like a good release. But then he's got the Steve Francis size up, the tray escape. He's got the best sigs in the game. He's also got the quick chops off one. He's got the front clutches. Even his defensive tendencies are elite with a 92 on-ball steal, 88 contest shot, 88 block shot. He's got a good player model. He can drive to the basket. And once again, I think he's a must-have card for these like mid-level squads in the game if we're talking about the price ranges. Another mid-level card that can actually play on pretty much every team in the game, and that's going to be the Galaxy Marc Gasol. He's about 60k, 50 to 70k. He does fluctuate a lot in price. Sometimes I've seen him as low as like 45, 50k. Sometimes I've seen him really expensive at about 60, 65, 70,000 MT. So somewhere in that price range, and he's going to be an elite big man in the game, being 7'1" with a 7'4" wingspan. I think he's definitely a must-have card for pretty much every squad in the game. If you're trying to build a budgety team, you want to go get Marc Gasol because of how elite he is at the center position. If you want to, put him on a mid-level team, like a team that maybe costs like 500k, to $1 million, somewhere in there, he definitely plays on those type of lineups. And then if you're looking to build a God squad, unless you're getting a Yao Ming, a Manute Bol, a Kristaps, like he can actually play in one of those center positions. I think he's debatably a top 5 center in the game. He's an elite, elite offensive card with a 98 3 ball, 97 mid-range. He's got Hall of Fame Agent 3, catch and shoot, corner specialist, Hall of Fame limitless range. He's a great defender, has a great player model, great size at the center position. I also like how he can play power forward as well. So if you want to run him next to a taller center like a Yao Ming, like a Kristaps, he can slide to the 4, which I think is also super valuable because his jump shot I think is good enough to play that power forward position. I think it's a quick release, easy to time, great in the catch and shoot, and then he's also got some solid dribble sigs. If you ever need to create some space with a Marc Gasol card, I think he's just overall one of the best center cards and just one of the best bigs in the game, especially for his value. Talking about another kind of mid-level guy is going to be this Galaxy Bailey, another card just like Marc Gasol, who I feel like can play on those, I guess you could say budget teams, like not budget, but like, maybe 250k, somewhere in that price range. And he's about, I think for his hero, it's hard to tell. I think he's about 70, 80k for his hero version. But if you even want to go ahead and pick up this one for like a budget squad, there's not going to be too big of a difference except for the hot zones at the top of the key and then some extra Hall of Fame shooting badges. But both these cards can play on the budget type of teams, the mid-level squads, and then even the God squads as well. Bailey can compete with every small forward in the game. KG, Bull, if we're talking about power forwards, even Dwight Howard, like these cards he can still contain and kind of compete with. Like I don't think he's that much worse than the Dark Matter KG. I definitely don't think he's as good as KG, but I don't think there's like too big of a difference that you'll notice in game, because Bailey, just like KG, is an elite defender. He's got such a quick jump shot for a defensive card, a guy that's pretty much just there to play defense, rebound, run the floor, be athletic. He's also got an amazing jump shot with the Tobias Harris base, the Cedi Osman upper on very quick timing. I also love the D-Mitch fade. I think it's super easy to green with. And then he's also got the Curry size up, John Wall escape, Dame behind the back. He's great at finishing around the rim. Defensive tendencies could be a little bit better, for like the contest shot, but still a 75 on-ball steal and a 75 block shot. I think all around Bailey is just one of the better glue guys in the game. Can pretty much play with any cards and just any team in my team. Talking about another mid-level guy that can pretty much play on most squads in the game, and that's the Galaxy Turkoglu. There is a legit argument to be made. He's still a top 5 point guard in the game. I think there's Ben Simmons, Luka, Jokic, Ron Artest, MJ. That would be my top 5 5 personally, but if you wanted to put Turkoglu over MJ or even over Ron Artest, I think you could do so, and it wouldn't be that crazy to say. Like I said, I think those 5 guys are a tiny bit better. I got Turkoglu probably at my number 6 spot, but he's such an elite point guard. He's 6'10", 6'11" wingspan. He's got an amazing jump shot with the John Stockton base, the Trae Young upper. It's just a super quick release on very quick timing. And then he's also got the Kyle Lowry size up. He's got the Steph Curry escape. He moves really well for, you know, a 6'10" card. And then he plays solid defense because he's got a great player model and he's 6'10", but mainly just going to be all around one of the better point guards in the game for about 80 to 100,000 MT for his hero version. But just like Thurl Bailey, you can definitely go ahead and pick up his, out of position normal card, and they're pretty much going to play the exact same in game, and you won't notice too big of a difference. If you're looking for, a really good point guard to play on a budget team or mid-level team, I think you could get the out of position one. And then if you want him on like a more expensive squad, I think Turkoglu is just an amazing point guard all around, but especially on offense. Talking about some budget cards now, some budget must-have cards. First one, 1000% without a question in my mind, is this Galley Simple Tyson Chandler. He is under 10,000 MT, and I think he's on that Marc Gasol level. I don't think he's as good as Marc Gasol, at the power forward position. I think at center, they're very comparable because of their size, their defense. Like, I think Tyson Chandler plays better defense than Marc Gasol in game. 98 block, 94 steal, 93 perimeter, 98 interior defense. He's got tons and tons of good Hall of Fame defensive badges. The card's got amazing size and amazing player model. He gets great defensive animations. Even though his tendencies aren't the greatest, except for the 94 contest or 92 contest shot, his defensive animations are elite. But I think with this card, it really just comes down to, can you green his jump shot? He's only got a 78 3 ball and no shooting badges in the game. When I tried this card out, I did upgrade his 3 ball. I didn't upgrade his badges, and I was greening with this card very consistently, with this jump shot. So I think if you can green with this jump shot consistently, I think he's going to be a must-have budget center and just must-have card in the game in general. Talking about another must-have budget card, and that's going to be the Galaxy Luol Deng. Because of his ability to play the small forward and shooting guard position, I think he's got to be somewhere in this top 10 because he's 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. I think he's probably just a better version of Shane Battier, the card that recently came out. I think he's just slightly better than him, and they're both going to be amazing kind of two-way budget cards in the game. Luol Deng going to play elite level defense, and then offensively, like, he's not that bad. His jump shot's solid. He's got the Devin Booker fade. He's got the D-Mitch size up, the Steph Curry escape. Like, he can actually move at a pretty high level. He's got some really solid tendencies on the defensive end. I mean, the card is all around just a beast for, once again, what, like 10, 15, 20. Actually, I think he's a little bit more expensive. I think Luol Deng, I believe he's like 25, 30K on Xbox. I could be wrong. Maybe he's a little bit more expensive right now, but he's definitely fairly cheap, and I think all around a must-have card in the game. And then our final budget card here is going to be the Galaxy Simple Kevin Porter Jr. I wanted to give you guys a budget point guard, and I think that Kevin Porter Jr. is a must-have budget point guard in the game just because of the offense he brings you. Like, if you're looking for a card to create space, just be an offensive card, KPJ is probably your best option for a budget price. Being 6'6", I'm a 6'6" of the point guard position, 6'9" wingspan. The stats and the badges realistically don't matter for KPJ. The only thing that matters, and the reason why he's one of the best cards in the game, for his price, is because of this jump shot. The KPJ base, we all know, is the best base in the game. He's got the KPJ upper on very quick timing. It's just such an elite jump shot. I feel like I can never miss with this card. And then he's also got the De'Aaron Fox size up and the Steph Curry escape. And once again, he's about 20,000 MT. And for that price tag, I think he's a must-have card for budget lineups. Now, talking about the two expensive cards in this top 10 is going to be Pink Diamond Taco Fall and Galaxy Opal Big Z. And the reason why they're both in this top 10 is because with how many tall cards are getting released in my team, like Ben Simmons, like Yao Ming, like Manute Bol, you're going to need these tall cards on your lineup if you're going to match up against, a Manute Bol at the power forward position. Now, you probably never will play Manute Bol, but if you do play him, you're going to need Taco Fall. If you play a Yao Ming card and a Manute Bol, you're going to need these tall cards on your lineup. And the thing about Big Z is the reason why he's a must-have card in the game is because he can just literally change your lineup completely and allow you to run so many other cards in the game. For example, if you want to run Thurl Bailey at the power forward position, you can put Big Z at small forward, but then in game, Thurl Bailey won't be guarding the power forward if it's like a, Chris Stops, a Dikembe at the 4, Marc Gasol, whatever it is. Throw Bailey's not going to be guarding them. He's going to guard the small forward, the shooting guard, the point guard, where Big Z, is at the small forward position in game, but then you're going to switch his matchup. So now Big Z is going to be guarding the power forward or the center, whoever you choose to, and he can guard most power forwards and most centers in the game, being 7'3" with a 7'6" wingspan. And on the offensive end, if your opponent's running a small lineup and doesn't have these tall cards to combat your Big Z, now you can just score every single play on the offensive end. Yes, it's a little bit cheesy, but you can mash whenever you want now, and now it forces your opponent to have to change their matchups, maybe throw a little bit of an undersized guy on Big Z and just get him confused while you're playing in Unlimited of how to stop Big Z. And it just opens up the game, in my opinion, a lot more having this Galaxyable Big Z on your court, and that's why I think he's a top 10 must-have card in the game. And then the final card I do want to talk about is going to be this Dark Matter Alonzo Mourning. He's going to be the only free card in this top 10, and I know he's from like the vault, so he's going to be super hard to obtain, but if you can go ahead and try to get Alonzo Mourning, I think he's worth it. Now, it depends how many games you have to play. Obviously, it could take, 1,000 games, it could take 500, it could take 2 games, it could take 5 games, it could take 25, 50, 100. No one really knows the obviously exact amount. It's just RNG, which is luck. All luck based to get this card, but I think he probably is the second or third best power forward in the game if we're not counting Manute Bol at the power forward position. If we're counting Manute Bol, I probably put him number 3 behind Manute Bol and Taco Fall at the power forward position. And once again, if you have Big Z, this is the perfect lineup. If you have Big Z at small forward and Alonzo Mourning at the power forward position, that is perfect because Alonzo Mourning is such a good defender on the perimeter, and he's one of the best offensive, if not the best offensive power forward in the game. He pretty much plays like a guard who's 6'10". So don't really look at this card at the power forward position. He pretty much plays in game like a shooting guard or a small forward. That's just how elite this Alonzo Mourning card is. But yeah, guys, that's going to be my top 10 must-have cards in the game currently. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think about my top 10, and let me know some other must-have cards you guys think are on my team right now, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.